I'm giving away this car to one of my followers. And I know what you're thinking. Blake, this car's a f***ing shitbox. Well, let me tell you something. You're absolutely right. This car is a shitbox. The paint's all faded. It's got moss and wasps growing on it. There's surface rust on the roof. Looks like it's been sitting out in the sun for 10 f***ing years. At least it's got a good set of spotties on it though. Hopefully underneath it looks alright.
Oh, yep. It's
Now it's not all bad. There is one very exciting thing that you may not be able to see from the outside. Let's have a look. Ah, gotcha. It's just a dirty old RD28 that doesn't run. And you're probably wondering, why the fuck would I want this piece of shit car? Well, let me tell you. Over the next few months, I'm going to be building this car into an absolute touring rig, ready to take it anywhere you point it. So I suppose you want to know how you can win it. Well, let me tell you. So as you know, I'm a relatively small channel. So I'm actually going to need your help to build this car. So I absolutely suck when it comes to making decisions. So I've actually set up a Patreon account where I'll be creating a community where you guys can join up and actually vote on the decisions around this car. So when it comes to what color we're going to be painting it, what bull bar we're putting on it, what rear setup we're putting in it, you know, 12 volt setup, fridges, pretty much every decision I need to make on this car, I'm going to be leaving up to you guys. So I'm also going to be doing a lot of extra content in the Patreon and a lot of giveaways. So the link to that will be down in the description below. Now the first person to get over to the Patreon and guess what engine we're going to be putting in this giveaway car, I'm going to send them out a free merch bundle. So the membership for the Patreon, the basic tier is $20 a month, so $5 a week. And for that money, you will get 4 entries per month into the competition to win the car. So it's basically $5 a week and you get 1 entry per week. So if you're an OG member and you sign up this week, and let's say the build takes about 5 months, you'll have 20 entries into the giveaway at the end, so that you'll have a fair good chance of winning it. So yeah, I think it'll be an exciting little community to get involved in. Basically, you guys will be building the car and then one of you will be winning it. And also, if you sign up this week into the Patreon, you will get double entries. Also, another way to enter the competition is through the merch. So all my merch on the website will be entries into the giveaway for the car. So the sticker pack will be 1 entry, stubby cooler will be 1 entry, and a bundle will be 3 entries. So yeah, if you're not keen on signing up to the Patreon, you can always grab some merch. I will slowly be adding more merchandise to the store as we go along as well. So there'll be hats, more shirt designs and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's about it. Any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Let's get stuck into this build. So I picked up this 1997 GQ Nissan Patrol off a mate who actually bought a property, and this thing was sitting out in the paddock. So as you can tell, it's been out in the elements rotting away for the past 12 years. Although the outside looks pretty rough, the interior is actually pretty nice on this thing, which is handy. So first thing, we needed to give this thing a real good clean up and get it over to the workshop and start tearing it down. Righto. Now as you can tell, the cab of this thing does need a good paint job, but also underneath the chassis. Now the chassis doesn't have any bad rust that I've found as of yet, but it does need a good clean up. There's a lot of surface rust and just dirt and shit. So first things first, we are going to strip the car down, take everything off it that we don't need on there. So we're going to pull off the bull bar, side steps, maybe even these guards, the rear bar. We'll leave all the doors and everything on it for now. But basically, first thing I want to do is to get this chassis painted. So we're going to pull the engine and gearbox out, just get that out of the way. So then it'll be easier to clean the top of the chassis and the engine bay, then up in around the gearbox and everything. We'll also pull out the fuel tank and anything else underneath that's in the way. So let's get stuck into it. Now a handy tip for when you're pulling apart cars, if you're anything like me and got a shocking memory and forget where everything goes, is you get yourself a heap of these clear bags and a texter and some tubs as well. Now what you do is, every time you pull something apart, you put all the bolts and stuff like that in these clear bags, and then use the texter to write what it is on the outside. That way when you go to put the car back together, you'll know exactly what every single bolt is for. Now whoever's installed these friggin' side steps has actually bolted directly through the sill of the car, which is very annoying. And there's also bolts that go up through the floor. So these are going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get off. So one of the reasons I chose this particular car for the build was there's very minimal rust. It is a 1997 model, so it's one of the last GQs made.
Must be the last one of the season.
So yeah, usually the first spot these cars rust out is in the gutters at the back here and the roof. So yeah, as you can see, the gutters are absolutely smick on this thing. Now I just pulled the roof racks off. You can see the bloody tan lines that's left there. I knew there was a little bit of rust underneath this bracket here. Sometimes when you have roof racks on for a long time, they can collect dirt and shit in them, and then it will cause rust, and then the rust can spread. Now, so I started poking around at this little bit of rust with a screwdriver, and it's actually a lot worse than what I thought it was initially. So I'll give you a look. So you can see the underside of the gutter panel is all rusted there, and the inside roof panel. Now I pulled the interior hood lining out, just to get a look to make sure the rust hasn't gone all the way through the inside roof panel. Now the rust hasn't gone all the way through, so that's a good sign, but it still is going to be a pain in the ass to repair this rust. So I'm thinking my best bet will be to cut a section of the roof out from here, about roughly there, and pull that off, and then have a look on the inside of the roof, and we should be able to treat the inside roof panel, clean that up, paint that, and then I might have to find another GQ cab and cut out the same section and then weld that section from the other cab into this car. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but we should be able to get it sorted. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull off this rear bar and the spare tyre. I'm probably gonna do a rear quarter chop on this car, and we'll either build a rear bar or I'll buy one. Righto, next up I'm going to rip off the flares. It's actually got, they're actually fiberglass flares. I've never seen these before. They're the only ones I've ever seen are the plastic ones, but anyway, I'm going to rip them off, the mud guards. We'll rip the front ones off as well. Righto, so we pretty much got everything stripped down off the outside of the car. That doesn't need to be there. Stay tuned next week. We're going to be pulling the engine out, gearbox out, pretty much removing everything from the engine bay, ready to paint the chassis. Now, remember, if you want to go in the entry to win this car, click the link in the description to head over to the Patreon and sign up. We're going to be voting this week on what color we're going to be painting the car. So if you want to get involved in that, make sure you head over there. If you sign up this week, it's double entries. Thanks heaps for watching the video. We'll see you next week. Cheers.